Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to all our listeners. This is our APL Under the Radar Double Game Week 26 preview. I'm here with my buddies ZD and Wrangler. How are you doing, ZD?
Yes, doing good. How about you guys?
Doing good, doing good. Wrangler, how are you feeling?
Yeah, doing all right. Um, it's just
Yeah,
great evening.
so
So,
yeah, so we are approximately 2 days away from the 26th deadline, the biggest double game week so far. Of course, there will be bigger ones later in the season, but this is the biggest one so far. So a lot of talk about the cheap strategies around 26, 27, 28 in that time frame. So we'll talk about that, of course, a little bit, but most of our discussion will be focused towards Game Week 26. So let's dive into it. So, of course, we'll be talking about the fixtures, kind of the long view and in the short term also. We'll go through the premium attacker rotation strategies over the next few game weeks. Very important. Again, kind of switching your premium attackers in the right time is important for captaincy and other reasons. We'll talk about players to target in general for Double Game Week 26, what teams to target and what players to target. We'll, of course, talk about Game Week 26 Captaincy, and we'll finish with our, as always, our Game Week 26 team selection. Alrighty. So first of all, we have the long view fixtures as we always start with Ben Krelin's fixtures. So 26, as we already said, so it's a big double game week for 8 teams. Um, and then 27 is blank for 3 teams. So there is a rescheduled fixture there for Leicester. So that means there will be 3 teams blanking in 27. One of the critical teams in this time frame is Arsenal because they double in 26, blank in 27, and potentially double in 28 again, which is not confirmed yet, but there is a very high likelihood that they may double with most likely with Chelsea or potentially could be with Leicester, I believe, right? So one of those, but most likely with Chelsea. So very kind of pivotal in the decision making over the next few game weeks. Arsenal assets, how whether you want to get into them or not, basically we will determine your cheap strategy over the next few game weeks. Uh, but yeah, other than that, of course, game week 30 is another big blank, as we spoke about last time as well. There are only 6 teams confirmed to play there. Potentially could be 8. Realistically, there is no chance that there will be more than 8 teams, right? So very likely only up to 8 teams will play there. So a lot of people may want to use their free hit in that game week. If someone wants to navigate game week 30 without free hit, again, this is kind of the right time to start planning ahead because bunch of teams, again, Arsenal, Wolves, who double this game week, don't blank in 30, right? So a lot of people may want to get in Arsenal players, Wolves players, so that they can navigate game week 30 without a free hit potentially down the road. So again, so a lot of critical decisions, right? So anything to add, ZD or Angler?
Oh, you covered everything.
Okay. All right. So just quick look at the game week 26 fixtures. But of course, I mean, as we again said last time as well, uh, the only 2 teams that kind of are in focus for this game week, or at least from a double game week standpoint, one is definitely Liverpool. They have 2 home matches against Leeds and Norwich, and Arsenal, especially from a defensive perspective. Again, they also have 2 home matches against Brentford and Wolves. Other than that, all the double game weeks are kind of iffy, not really something that you would want to target. But of course, they are double game weeks no matter what. So we'll be talking about them also. But yeah, other than that, not much to talk here. But we definitely expect Liverpool to score big and Arsenal to potentially keep clean sheets at home against both Brentford and Wolves. Anything else that you guys want to highlight? from the 26 fixtures.
So here again, just for the viewers, these numbers that we are showing here is basically an effective XG for each team in each game that is dependent on the opponents and like home away or like opponents like goals conceded. So yeah, it's just showing that how Liverpool, you know, is like they're expecting 3.2
Hmm.
per per game, right? So 6 goals you're expecting from Liverpool. So definitely, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
it's very crucial uh, for this game week that Liverpool assets is must, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, just that's wanted to convey to the viewers.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to notice is that although like before game week 25, everyone was saying that Norwich's defense has improved and so on, but then they face Man City and they concede 4 goals, right? So these big teams, they just steamroll these smaller teams, no matter how good their form is or whatever. You just expect the bigger teams to literally steamroll the smaller teams. So but anyway, so that's basically the highlight of the 26 game of 26 fixtures. Man United, of course, is another critical topic, and we'll talk about in our upcoming slides too. But they have a single game week against Leeds, and as we all can probably remember, Bruno gave like a 20-point haul in the very first game week of the season against Leeds, right? And Leeds' defense still hasn't improved even throughout the season. So although they are single game weaker, but again, uh, we have all learned from our Watford experience, right, that double game weakers may not always be the best options. So if someone already have a Bruno or a Ronaldo, they may want to keep him unless they have a priority transfer to make sideways. But yeah, so that's probably one single game week that kind of catches the eye. Uh, yeah, not
I think
necessarily.
West Ham Newcastle is also
West Ham
really
Newcastle
good.
is a decent
Yeah,
fixture too. Correct.
for
Yes.
attacker. Yeah,
Yeah. From an attacking perspective, definitely. Newcastle again has improved somewhat
yeah.
after their winter transfers, but again, West Ham is expected to score goals against Newcastle. Yes. All right. So let's move
One thing
on.
to here, just so
Mhm.
Leeds, the last time they kept clean sheet was in game week 13,
Right.
long time back. So
Yeah.
it actually shows how leaky the defense is. So that's why
Yeah.
this slide also, like here, sorry, I'm kind of taking it over from
Go
you.
ahead. Yeah.
But yeah, basically here we are just showing that we just mentioned in the previous slide that which are the teams like will be very interesting and managers will be mainly focusing on. So although Manchester United doesn't have any double game week, but because of their fixture and because people already won Ronaldo or Bruno because of the double game week in 25, still people might be interested to keep them because of
Hmm.
this very good fixture run, right? At least 26 and 27, not 28, but 26 and 27. So yeah, Manchester United is there. Liverpool, we already talked. They're doubling 26, very lucrative fixture. 27, they're blanking. Arsenal, the same thing. 26, at least defensive wise, right? As Kante mentioned. But 27, they're blanking. But again, 28 here, Watford they're playing. It's a good fixture. Chelsea we put it here, but there is it's a very high likelihood that that double might occur
Hmm.
between Arsenal and Chelsea. And if that happens, that's really very good. Like that's why people might even like think of triple up Arsenal in 26, free hit in 27, and again keep them in 28. So we're gonna talk about this later. Spurs, yeah, I mean, as Kante mentioned, they have not been very promising recently. Also, their doubles are not very attractive as well because one of their games is against Man City, right? And again, that's away. And
Hmm.
Burnley also is doing good defensive.
At home, especially. So yeah,
Yes,
Burnley
at
games
home,
also.
right? And that's also they're playing away in Burnley. So, but it's still like it's double game week, right? And like gains fixed underlying statistics was good and like Son's statistics is good against like Man City, right? So people might be at least historically thinking probably to keep them or to bring them as well. So
Hmm.
we'll cover that. Burnley, they are having double double, right? So all on a sudden people might be again, right? We are kind of falling in this trap of double game week, but again, like things are returning, right? Like Bruno, Ronaldo, or even Bowen, right? Except that Everton
Watford
and
thing and Everton
Watford,
thing. Yeah,
again,
Also, Pope returned 19
yeah,
yeah,
points.
19
even
points,
Pope.
right?
Yeah.
19 points. So, yeah, so basically that's why Burnley becomes like, like Burnley options become popular all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And Wolves are having double, and as you like already know, right? Their defense is so good, and recently they actually even won against Tottenham in their away, right? So which is um, like very promising. So that's why, and we'll have to talk about also like asset in the like in later slide as well. So these are the couple of the teams that manager will be interested to like for next 1 or 2 game weeks. Just wanted to convey that. Anything you want to add?
No, yeah, I think you covered it.
Okay. So yeah, here basically this is the time. It's very crucial time in FPL, right? Because as we mentioned before, right? Like 26 big double, 27 blank, 28 possibility double, 30 blank, right? So every transfer you do, that very much ties up with your like future cheap strategies as well, right? It's every transfer count. Either you take a hit, for the future, or you becomes conservative, whatever it is, right? And whenever you do this transfer or you structure your team, premiums are always like the like eyeball, right? Because you structure your
Mm-hmm.
team based on the premium. So that's why we thought to kind of uh, talk about the how premium rotation can happen, right? There could be several routes. There could be like people are having different like people, right? They are owning different people, especially a lot of people are owning Bruno and Ronaldo because of this double game week, right? So here, basically, just to demonstrate that whatever the whatever players people own right now, whatever it is, Salah, Bruno, or whatever it is, we think that these are the four popular routes of different like premium attacking will be, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless whatever you own, and it's good sometimes that okay you have your plan on your head, but it's also good to know that what others might have, right? Because we are all playing against each other, right? So it's also good to know that okay, that's my path, but it's good to know what others are doing. So first thing is Salah plus Bruno, right? Whatever I think, at this point, in terms of premium attacking rotation or premium attacker, I think people can afford at best two, right? Because to keep the balance of the team. So Salah plus Bruno is would be like popular for them who already had Bruno in 25, right? And as we mentioned before, right, their fixture are good. People might be leaning towards to keep the Bruno and fund for Salah somehow. Or if someone already had Salah and Bruno before already, they might think to use their free transfer elsewhere, right? So that could be one route. And right now, Salah and Bruno owners in top 10K is like 17.18%. That's the highest, among all of this combination, premium combination. Salah and Bruno combination is the highest amongst all of these players,
Mm-hmm.
17.18, right? So again, as I said, people might keep him or keep both of them. And 27, it's like it depends of the team. People might free hit or whatever it is. But in 28, I think Man United assets are a must go because that's when the fixture swing is going to happen. So either people might gonna do wild card or whatever they do, but they will probably like get rid of Man United asset, either Bruno or Ronaldo, and get Chelsea. Okay. So that's Salah and Bruno, and then Salah and Kane. That could be another route, right? And that could be popular for those people who already have Salah and Kane, and that's actually very low. If you see at the bottom, only 0.95% like have these in the top 10K. This
Mm-hmm.
combination, but those who already had Ronaldo, right? It's very easy swap, direct swap. If you want to make this Salah to Kane, sorry, Ronaldo to Kane, people might think of to have that, right? And in the long run, also in 28, if you want to think of like Lukaku or like some premium from Chelsea, that's easy from going to Lukaku as well, right? So that could be one option that we see. Salah plus Son, that could be also very popular option, I think, you know. And that's because if you take Salah and Son, then in the forward you can afford Weghorst or Broha. If Weghorst is fit, people might be inclined to Weghorst because of the double double, right? So that is a plus. So it comes with the package, okay. And even Broha is also good because if you want to avoid your free hit in 27, then Broha is playing against Norwich in 27, and they are playing against Everton in 26. So both of the fixtures are good, right? So that's why Salah plus Son could be popular. Okay? And the last one is gonna be popular. Salah plus Lacazette plus Saka is gonna be popular for those people who are thinking definitely free hitting. Okay, so essentially it could be any like triple up of Arsenal. Okay, it could be like Ramsdale or any defender Tierney, and then in the forward it could be Lacazette or Saka, whoever it is. But I think Salah plus, I mean, Salah is a must here. I mean, people are planning doing the captaincy, triple captain. We'll talk about this,
Mhm.
but I think those who are gonna do free hit, triple Arsenal is kind of evident here. Okay, in 26. So yeah, that's one like we would like to cover here. Anything to add, Pankaj?
Yeah, just want to add one thing, that people who are kind of deliberating to play their wild card in game week 28 potentially after the blank, because Liverpool and Arsenal blank in 27, uh, there is a possibility for you to kind of dead end the team in 27 and then wildcard. And by dead ending, we mean you basically get rid of a Salah because you can get back him in 28 anyways. So you use your money and kind of invest it in on say like a KDB or the Man City guys or the big Man U guys or Tottenham guys, right? All of them have decent fixtures in 27. So there is an opportunity there. So if you are planning to wildcard in 28, even without free hitting in 27, you can basically utilize your money. If you are not wildcarding in 28, of course you have to kind of contemplate benching Salah potentially, right? So all that big money on the bench. But if you are wildcarding in 28, then you basically just get rid of them and then get them back in 28, right? So as simple as that. So that's one strategy, right? So if you plan to wildcard in 28, basically over the next two game weeks, 26 and 27, you plan your, again as Wrangler said, plan your transfers for that, so that you take players that you don't want beyond 27, attack these two game weeks with whatever you want to do with it, and then wildcard in 28. But yeah, other than that, you covered it pretty well, Wrangler. Anything to add, ZD, in here?
No, no, guys,
Okay.
did good.
All right. So the next one is interesting. So of course, before we go into the specific players that we want to target for game week 26, the double game week especially. So one thing is that some of the teams are just poor in defending set pieces, right? Especially like corner kicks or free kicks, mostly corner kicks. So what kind of jumps at you here on this chart is basically how poor Leicester City are, and Crystal Palace also. Crystal Palace uh, generally has that perception that they're a good defense, and actually they are one of the best defenses in the league. I think they are like fifth or sixth from a XGC standpoint over the season, but they just concede goals somehow, right? And if you look into these numbers, you would know why, because they don't know how to defend free kicks, sorry, corner kicks, right? So both Leicester and Crystal Palace, and then some of the more kind of common teams that you think of, like poor defenses, Leeds, Norwich, Watford, Everton, and so on. So they, we already identified them as poor defenses anyways, right? But Leicester and Crystal Palace especially kind of jumps out on this chart. And the reason that we're talking about is, again, in our last video, ZD spoke about the defenders that you want to target. So a lot of us, like me, I still have Alonso. I did not get rid of him. So there is potential, either Alonso or any other defender that you want to get rid of. There is a potential that you may want to attack again the next few game weeks, right? As we spoke about in the last slide too. So especially if you're wildcarding, or even if you're not wildcarding, if you want to navigate game week 30 or 27 without free hit, whatever way you want to go. So there are opportunities from the sense that the biggest uh, kind of point here to talk about is Roman size or any other rules defender potentially want to talk about. We're talking about size because he has the biggest goal threat out of all the Wolves defenders. As we already spoke about, they are generally a pretty good defense. They have been a very good defense over the season, but size has pretty good goal threat also. And four of his next six fixtures, Leicester, Crystal Palace, Everton, and Leeds, they are basically on top seven of this chart. And generally speaking, they're all pretty poor defending corner kicks or set pieces in general. So there is an opportunity there. So if you want to target Wolves defense, so there are multiple benefits of it. Wolves don't blank in 27, they don't blank in 30, right? So whether you want to navigate 27 or 30 without a free hit, Wolves defenders are a good choice. Their fixtures, their immediate fixtures are not that great, Leicester and Arsenal, but again, on their day they can keep a clean sheet against anyone, and of course with the added benefit of size's goal threat, right? So that's something to look out for. So I am personally looking at size to kind of again because I'm trying to navigate 27 without a free hit. So I think size could be a good long-term hold until 29, 30, until I will use my second wildcard potentially. Another short-term, very good short-term punt is Tarkowski, Burnley. So they have seven fixtures within the next five game weeks, right? As we said, they're doubling, and potentially in 30. Of course, that's not confirmed yet. But if West Ham beats Southampton, which is the likely outcome, that's what the bookies betting rates are saying as well. So if that happens, Southampton Burnley will also fall in game week 30, or basically that fixture is already there. That will happen. So they may not even blank in game week 30. So again, depending on your chip strategy, if you are trying to navigate 30 without a uh, free hit and then targeting game week 25, 26 and 27 for the doubles, again their fixtures are not the greatest: Brighton, Tottenham, Crystal Palace, and Leicester. But there is an opportunity, right? So four fixtures in the next two game weeks, they don't blank potentially in 27 and in 30. um, and their fixtures are not the worst either. They have decent fixtures. And Burnley at home, as we were talking about earlier as well, is a decent defense. And again, same thing, right? So Tarkowski, especially if you're not in get or if you're not getting him in 26, 27, they have their matches against Crystal Palace and Leicester, who are ironically on the top of this chart, right? The top two teams on this chart, very poor in defending set pieces. And if you remember the reverse fixture earlier in the season, Burnley and Crystal Palace, that was a 3-3 go match. And Tarkowski actually had two assists. He did not score anything, but he had two assists, and both from like corner kicks or free kicks, one from corner, one from free kick. So there is an opportunity there also. Kind of a short term punt, sounds punty. Um, you probably don't want to go there because they're Burnley. But if you want to take the chance, why not? Seven fixtures in five game weeks with some goal threat. And then the last one is Van Dijk. Again, as we knew this earlier today, Jota got injured in the UCL midweek match, unfortunately. And a lot of people may still have a third place open from a Liverpool perspective. And again, nothing to talk about Liverpool. They are one of the best sides in the league, and they have the best fixtures undoubtedly in game week 26. So Norwich and Leeds are also generally pretty poor in defending set pieces. So that, of course, is an opportunity even for the wing backs. So if you have Trent, almost all of us have Trent. Robertson is a good pick, but Van Dijk for a zero point 0.5 million cheaper price is not the worst pick either. At least these fixtures. And another benefit for Van Dijk is he's pretty much nailed, right? He plays like 90 minutes every match. There is a chance that Robertson may get rotated with Simicas. Um, Trent probably won't get rotated, but very high chance that Robertson may get rotated a little bit here and there. Van Dijk is nailed. Again, with especially looking at the game week 26 fixtures. If anyone still has that third place Liverpool place open, I would be very tempted for to get VVD. Um, but yeah, so that's just something very interesting. Again, looking at the game from slightly different perspective, right? We always talk about XGs and XS, but there are many different ways you can kind of look at the game, right? This is just another interesting way that we are looking at it. Anything to add, guys?
Yeah, I mean, it looks very interesting actually. This one is very good work by you. And uh, personally, I am planning to play free hit on 27th. But if I don't play, or like if I
Hmm.
decide, then probably size Tarkovsky looks very good pick actually. Especially I think size, because I think he has like three or four fixtures where that, like Leicester, Crystal Palace, Everton, Leeds, they are all are I mean weak in the set pieces. So he has a greater threat. So yeah, it's an interesting perspective.
Yep. All right. Anything to
One,
add, Wrangler?
yeah, just whatever you said. In addition to that, if you see the penalty, right, Norwich and Newcastle,
Hmm.
my eyes are on Salah and Bowen. So, so,
Yeah.
so I think Bowen is the penalty taker if um, West
I
Ham.
think Rice is
Yeah.
probably the
Oh,
first
okay.
choice, and Rice is pretty much always on the field. Nobel is not playing anymore. Nobel was their original choice.
No, there was another like Argentine. What was his name?
Lanzini.
Lanzini.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
I don't think Lanzini is the first choice. Or I'm pretty sure Rice is.
Probably
But
after
yes,
Rice.
Okay.
yeah. So
Uh,
Rice, if Rice is on the field, Rice takes the
but
penalties.
yeah, I think Norwich. So yeah, Salah.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll all hope that Liverpool gets some penalties this week. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So, ZD, you want to talk about the players to target for Game of 26?
Yeah, so basically, I think plenty of uh, team will be double week, will have double game week. But I think the best fixture, obviously, Liverpool, and then I think we are talking. We also talked like previously. Arsenal has the best fixtures. Um, Especially defensive wise. If you see in the bottom, like for Brentford and Wolves, their XG is like 0.9 and 0.89, which is lower than one, right? So there is a good probability of getting clean sheet from both game. At least I would expect a one game, right?
Hmm.
So um, if you want to transfer in, obviously Ramsdale. I mean, he's a great um, he's a great pick actually throughout the season. I think I was actually writing something. He got like 101 points, which is sixth or fifth in 19 games, and he got like most bonus point among all the keepers. So this guy is, I don't know actually. Like someone I saw in the Twitter, he does not, if he does not save, still he gets bonus all the time,
Yeah.
right? So he's one guy actually who can actually uh, who is someone, I think if anyone has DK or uh, I think you can move to him because he's a great option for both of these game. And Tyranny, I mean, he's um, underlying state is not bad. His expected assist is like 0.14 and expected goal per 90 is 0.05. And obviously with CS he can get the attacking returns. And attacking wise, I think there are two options. One is Lacazette and another one is Saka. I like Saka more. He's like the nucleus for their attack. So if anyone wants any attacker, I think Saka is a good option. I personally have Ramsdale, and I'm thinking to get Tyranny and Saka. But obviously, if you bring them, um, you need to keep in mind that they will be banking in 27.
Hmm.
Um, any of you guys are interested?
Yeah, I mean, I got Ramsdale already. I made an
Mm-hmm.
early transfer to get him. I already had a double game week keeper in Guaita, but I still
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get Ramsdale. One reason is effective ownership, very highly owned.
Mm-hmm.
and then two very good fixtures, right? And
Yeah.
then pretty good fixtures after 28, 27 too.
Yeah.
And he's basically kind of a season keeper, right? Unfortunately, I never got him throughout the season, but never too late to correct your
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah. Of
got him.
course.
Uh, as from attacking perspective, I probably won't go there. But
Mm-hmm.
again, if you are free hitting, maybe I mean at least one of them is definitely worth it. It's kind of a toss up between Saka and Laka, depends on your team structure. Lacazette
Mm-hmm.
has very good underlying stats. He hasn't delivered much in the recent fixtures, right? He doesn't have any goal in the last 6 matches, but he's kind of their glue guy now. He's their captain. He's on penalties too. So Laka might be a good shout, especially if you're moving on from a Ronaldo or something like that for
Even from
or cheap,
Watkins, probably.
and from Watkins somewhere in the 7 million bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Laka is a very good shout, and Saka also, as you said, he is always there whenever they're attacking.
Yeah, and Saka is actually for as a cheaper option. 6.4 for his price. I
Right.
think it's cheaper. So I'm
Yeah,
actually looking to replace Gray. So in that case, I think Saka is a good option for this week.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Wrangler,
want to add
anything to add?
one thing here. So basically, again, I think Arsenal's defense is more attractive than attack. At least for me,
Hmm.
since I'm not free hitting. But even if you free hitting, I think people will be like probably double up. And the reason for that, I think basically Arsenal in home they have been pretty solid in defending.
Yep.
So since I was like looking into actually the numbers, so since game week 11, they had six home game, and they were able to maintain clean sheet in all of the five, and one of them they lose. They actually lost the clean sheet is against Man City.
Man City.
Okay.
Which is expected. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, they actually lost even before that, before game week 11. The clean sheet they lost mostly like Spurs, Chelsea, and only Crystal Palace. It was 2-2, before.
Yeah.
But in home, they were very solid in defending, especially against like not they're not the big team, right?
Yeah.
And Brentford
Absolutely.
and Wolves are not that good, right? Especially attacking wise,
That
as you
was.
see the opponent XG. So I
Yeah, not
think
only
that's
not only Arsenal is keeping clean sheets, they actually don't concede a lot of big chances, right? They
yes.
barely concede any big chances for any of the opponents. So they're pretty tight. In again, you defend not only with your back line, you defend from the midfield too, right? So yes, absolutely, you're correct. Defensively, I think Arsenal is one of the strongest team in the league now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
One
was.
one shout I also think is Gabriel.
Gabriel,
Yeah,
yeah.
Gabriel. Yep.
He is also pretty nailed, and he has been pretty good as well in the set pieces. Okay, so I think Gabriel could be also another shout. Just wanted to add here, but yeah, definitely Tierney has more attacking return, and Ramsdale is Ramsdale. So,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
Tierney is also pretty nailed as Gabriel, pretty much, especially Tavares kind of out of favor. But yeah, good shot. Gabriel is a very good shot too.
Your stats remind me because I think 2 weeks back I was thinking of going with triple Arsenal defense, but I just changed it from there because I was thinking probably it sometimes, I mean, one goal, and one thing is one goal, and second thing, I think probably structure wise it will be tough later to carry.
Yeah.
I, especially say if I don't want to play free hit on game week 30. I mean, there is no way, right? They are going to keep six clean sheet from 6 game, right? So in that sense, I thought like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm not free hitting. If I need to carry them 5 6 game week, in that case, two defense and one attacker is better. But yeah, but with your stat, I checked that one as well. I mean, it is actually tremendous, right? Almost tempting. Like, okay, let's have all of their defense.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think doubling up on Arsenal defense is going to be very popular.
Yeah,
Ramsdale and Tierney, or Ramsdale or Gabriel.
yeah.
and
Definitely, it's
that's why
going to be
actually
very
even
popular.
game week 27 feet also is very very popular, right?
Hmm.
Because you
Yep.
can they can keep them in 28, and if it is a double game
Absolutely.
week, and then 30 they are definitely playing, right? So that's why Arsenal assets
Yeah,
are
absolutely.
became
If
very popular.
Arsenal did not have this good double game week in 26, I don't think people would be thinking about
No,
free hit as much for
And this is
27.
probably the high time to jump onto them, right? Because they are banking
Exactly.
in 27, so definitely 26 is the time, and
Right.
the opponent is good. So
yeah. At least 28 game week they have Watford, right? Which is
Yes, they have
pretty
at least
easy.
Watford, right?
Yeah,
Pretty good game
pretty,
again. Yeah.
pretty
That's
good
the
game.
away, but again, it's good team. So
Yeah.
Okay. So next, the most obvious one, Liverpool. You want to talk about it, Zidan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to spend much time over here. I mean, everyone knows Liverpool. Everyone have Liverpool. These are some stats. We know that Salah and Trent. He's having super season this time around. But Robertson is actually coming back from behind. Last 5 game weeks, he had 3 assists, one more than Trent, and also. Uh, uh, like expected looks pretty similar, but uh, you actually got return in UCL game as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, if someone has like already Salah, Trent, Robertson, they are in very good shape. Although I think there is slight concern over Robertson's uh, game time, but still, I mean, if somebody has, they have like good age. And I was thinking about having Jota over here, but as Jota is injured, it's pretty. I mean, his minutes is very unsure. Previously, it
Very
was
true.
unsure. Right now, it's more unsure. So I was thinking, I was looking at Van Dijk's stat, and his stat is pretty good as well. He got one goal and one fantasy assist, and he also assisted today, right? So
Mhm.
I mean, also with Kante's previous slide, he has like more reasons to get attacking return in double game 26. But
Yeah.
again, it's tough. I know team dependent because 27 is blank for Liverpool, and we already have probably 2 or 3 assets. But yeah, I mean, they have the best pictures, and it's very tough to go game week 26 without 3 Liverpool assets.
Yep. Absolutely.
one
And I
question.
mean, no matter who you get from Liverpool, I think all of them are pretty good long-term holds. Other than maybe like Sadio Mane, right? Mane is expensive. He doesn't
Expensive.
have penalties, and in that bracket, you probably want to get other players in. But any of the other pool players you get, they are all very good long-term holds. So you are not only targeting double gaming 26, even beyond that. Even if you don't want to get back Jota, you can still hold these guys for almost sure short returns. So nothing to lose there.
Yeah, so
Regularly.
I think if anyone is interested to didn't, I think people might be taking. I mean, interested to take Mane in place of Jota if Jota is injured. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
So one question to you guys, right? I mean, say, I mean, since Jota, if Jota is like injured, confirmed, right? Say, like Props mentioned that. Do you
Mhm.
see like that people will be jump onto like Robertson or Van Dijk? Where is like even this game week? Do you see that?
Yeah,
Is
do
it
see
gonna
that.
happen
I think
a lot?
people will want three Liverpool assets for this game, especially.
Yeah.
So I do foresee a lot of people jumping onto mostly probably Robertson, but VVD too to some
Yeah, and
extent.
also from your previous stats, I mean, attacking wise, Liverpool are favorite, like scoring 3 plus goal. Also, their XGC was like 0.6, 0.7, I
Yeah,
guess. I
their
mean,
opponents are
it's
pretty poor
pretty
attack.
poor as well. So double defense is great option for this game week.
Yeah, but what I mean coming into is here is that again you need to transfer and also
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah,
you have like we talked about Arsenal as well, right? So there Arsenal is more cheaper option, right? Than
Mhm.
this. So do you? I mean, I know people will be interested, but I don't see it is going to happen right
Yeah, I
away.
mean, it really again depends on the team structure and chip strategy, right? So yes, absolutely. If someone is free hitting in 27, their first priority would be probably to get in Arsenal players this week. And again, Arsenal and Liverpool both blank in next game week, right? So that could be another thing for people to kind of think of, especially people who are not free hitting. They might be happy with two Liverpool assets, but people who are free hitting, they may want to get somehow again. I mean, there will probably be a lot of hits this week, but you are right. So people's first priority is probably going to be Arsenal defense, and then if they still have a free transfer to kind of spend, then maybe one of the Liverpool boys in the back. But yeah,
yeah. The
very
thing
true.
is,
Very
it's
true.
easy fixture, but it's very tough to get right because
Switch
now,
around, yeah.
yeah. like -4 spending on only one game week,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah. I mean,
totally
I
he
know.
needs to get the return.
I know a few people were talking about Firmino in the space today, but again, that's a -4 move too, right? From midfield to forward, and you Firmino doesn't is not a great FPL asset anymore, anyways. So yeah, even if it's tempting, I would not go there. So if absolutely you want to go get a third Liverpool asset, unlike like as Wrangler said, there is only way you can potentially think of getting Mane is if you're dead ending in 27. Otherwise, you are going to either Robo or Van Dijk
VVD. Yeah.
potentially.
I find it very difficult actually. I mean, because they're very expensive because you have to replace someone again in the midfield, right? And I don't see
I
much
mean,
point.
there's basically Jota money, right? So there's Jota money going to your defense and maybe like a 6 million ish midfielder
Less than
in
that,
the
Probably,
midfield.
yeah.
probably Jota to Saka and someone 5 million
Yeah,
to
Saka would
Van
be
Dijk. Yeah,
popular, and then maybe like a Cornet would be popular. I saw
yeah,
people kind of thinking about those. Even some of the big accounts are thinking of about those moves, right? But yeah, I absolutely get that. It's not straightforward.
yeah.
You
It's
are
not simple. Mm.
already taking a -4 just to make that move. So yeah,
Also, you're bringing Salah, like most of the people, right?
yeah, a lot of people are that will be the first priority to get in Salah. All right, so next one is Wolves and Spurs.
Yeah, I think you already covered size part. Size is tempting, but I think Jimenez is a good shout for this game week as well. They are one of the game is against Leicester at home, and he has scored 2 goals. So although it's like from last 5 game weeks, I think 6 game weeks, but Wolves played 4 games. So out of 4 games, he has scored 2 goal, and
Mhm.
his XG is 0.52. So it's getting better. I think he's a good punt because strikers are rubbish, right? And they are
Rubbish, anyways. Yeah.
yeah, and their upcoming pictures is also good as you showed in the previous slide. So he's a good punt. I know our team does not allow to have him, but if anybody is free hitting or like have already have like 6 7 game week,
Watkins or
yeah,
Antonio, right?
yeah,
From them, yeah.
yeah, they can go there. And of course, Spurs has a tough game, but again, you never know. I mean, in their they I think Kane and Son they can do better. Although their opponent XGC is like Man City, they don't
Mhm.
concede often. And although Burnley's XGC is 1.51, but I think in home they are like fifth. It's like around one. So it's a tough game. But I can see that people can actually bring in Kane probably in place of Ronaldo because it's a long-term move or like taking a chance.
Mhm.
And Son in place of Bruno, I don't know, but his record is good. Underlying stats is very good. It's like 0.37 and 0.35. So these are also like possible options who people can target.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So
Jimenez is an interesting one. Wolves doesn't score many goals. That's the
Yeah,
problem, right?
yeah,
It has been the problem recently. They barely score any goals. They did score two against Spurs, but both of them were like defensive or goalkeeping mistakes from Spurs more than anything else. But yeah, it still could be an interesting option given that none of the other forwards are returning anyways. So you may want to go there. Tottenham is very interesting. I already again got Kane for an early transfer in. His underlyings recently has been very good. He was very unfortunate to not return in game of 2. I know you captained him in 24, right, ZD?
yeah.
So he was very unfortunate to not get any attacking returns. And even in 25, even against Wolves, he looked very good. I think he missed one very good big chance. So I think it's just coming. I was telling Wrangler the other day that I really believe that Kane will score like another 15 goals before the end of the season. So I I just kind of as a gut feeling I got him. So I wanted to get him, right. So
Ho-
he yeah, he just needs that finishing touch. Other than that, he has looked good.
point
Hopefully we
0.9
can.
xgi, right? I mean,
Yeah, very high exchange involvement. And if you look look at his recent games, he looks sharp too. Like in the early in the season, he was kind of looking sluggish. His mind was probably elsewhere, but he looks very sharp now under Conte. Well, by the way, Spurs has lost three back-to-back matches, so they're as a team they are not in the best form. But yeah, we all know when Kane and Son fire together, they are a complete different beast, right? So we can all expect for that. So I know ZD, you got him last week. I got him this week. Wrangler,
Hmm.
you are probably planning to get him. So we'll probably all be betting on Spurs and Kane in some way.
Yeah,
Potentially.
hopefully we can get some returns, right?
Yeah.
One thing here I see here, Content is that if anyone is not like trusting on Kane, and if you're a Ronaldo owner, and if Weghorst is not fit, I see
Mhm.
actually Jimenez is a good shout here. Son and
Hmm.
Yeah.
Jimenez,
Yeah,
because
Jimenez is a good shot. The only problem with Wolves is that they don't score many goals. Even in the
yeah,
last match, if you look at Jimenez's goal, it was like a poor defensive mistake. It was a very good finish, but it was a very bad mistake from Loris. They just
Yeah,
don't, from open play, they don't create any chances at all. So that's the only
I
problem.
mean, his chance actually coming as it is Lister, because they are worst actually in the
True.
defensive.
It's a good
Otherwise,
fixture to target.
yeah.
Yep.
Otherwise, I think it would be tough to consider any Wolves attacker. But I think it's interesting because his
Yep.
stats is good as well, and
Yep.
also, as you said, their upcoming picture from 28 is very good. So
Yeah. He's nailed. He's on penalties. So yeah,
yeah.
definitely a very, very good shot. Very good shot.
Hmm.
All right. Anything else to add, guys, from the players to target standpoint? I don't. I know we did not talk about the likes of Burnley and so on. Anything to add, maybe quickly on Burnley?
Uh,
Who are the
I
players
think
that?
you already covered that part, right?
yeah,
Tarkovsky, I mean, Tarkovsky or Pope, they are very good shout actually. If
Hmm.
anybody wants to get, uh, with the Weghorst, it's difficult to assess right now to bring, because um, we don't know the clear picture how many minutes he's going to play in this game week.
Hmm.
But Cornet could be an option, but the thing is, the I don't trust Burnley attacker much,
Yeah.
but I do believe their defense people might get some return. That's why actually
yeah.
Yeah.
I
there's the
So
reason.
absolutely. Yeah. So if you want to target Burnley, defense would probably be priority. Attack not as much, but if you have a space, if Weghorst is fit, I think Weghorst is being going to be pretty popular because of his price range and everything else.
Mhm.
Not the worst shouts again. Again, maybe kind of short term, kind of punty decisions because they're doubling in two back-to-back games. But again, that's how the season has been kind of right. Some of the punts have worked in the last few game weeks too. But anyways, any other player that comes to mind? I know we even in the last week we spoke about Broha, even though he's not doubling, but Southampton's fixtures are good. I saw somewhere on Twitter today, and I mean we spoke about it before also. Ward pros, if you have a midfield spot, especially if Jota is injured or something like that. So yeah, don't overlook the single game wickets completely either. Especially Southampton's fixtures up from now to like game week 30 looks pretty decent, right? So good single game wickets to target. A lot of people have Aston Villa. A lot of people got Dinia in, Watkins in. Watkins is probably a go given his form and given how Villa is using him as a kind of a false nine. Dinia also, I heard a lot of people. Of course, they got him early. If you have him, hold him, but he's probably not a buy anymore. But yeah, anything else to add?
yeah, I kind of feel that like strategically Weghorst is popular here. The reason
Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
like forwards
He
are
will
not
be.
doing anything anyways, right? And
Yeah.
Watkins is a go, DCL okay, we'll see, and Anthony is a go, right? I mean he's not performing. So and if you don't have Kane, we don't have
Hmm.
much of options, right? So why don't you
Yeah,
just try those people who have
absolutely.
double
A lot
playing
of
in
sideways
30?
move. Even from the Watford strikers, right? A lot of people have
Right,
Kane and
yeah. So they're
James.
not doing anything too, right? So you have double here for Burnley. And again, if you are in favor with Tarkowski, then Weghorst is very tall as well, right? 6'6", so he could
Yeah.
be a guy for the space, like set pieces as well, right?
Yeah, I
So yeah,
think
I mean, I
Burnley.
find that Weghorst, if Weghorst is fit, I mean, I think he might be popular. That's just my take.
Absolutely. He will be very popular. If he's fit, he will absolutely be very popular.
Yeah,
Um,
I am planning to get him in my free team 27,
27. Yeah.
not 26.
Yeah. Okay. So before we move on to our captaincy, so just a quick shout to FPL review. If you're not familiar with their website, so go to fplreview.com. So basically, they have a model, kind of a regression kind of model to predict players' points for the upcoming game weeks. What they do take into account are the underlying stats, of course, XG and XA, etc. Plus, they also assign percentage probability of the player playing, right, or the number of minutes the player might play. For example, even before Jota's injury, his average X minutes were assigned as 50. In average, 50 per 90 minutes he would play. So that was the number that was assigned on FPL review. But what this is helpful for is for you to understand where your team is and kind of do a to B comparison. I know Wrangler and I have been using this extensively in the recent times. Wrangler did a nice presentation when we were talking about kind of free hit versus no free hit kind of team a few weeks ago. So for that kind of thing, it can be very useful, like a one transfer or two transfer, how that can change your predicted points for the upcoming game weeks. And not only for one game, it actually shows you for forecast for the next 4 or 5 game weeks, right? Up to 5 game weeks, I think. So that's a very good feature. So definitely, if you're not familiar with it, go there, try out your team. It's a free feature. At least this is. You can look at the predicted points. So, but what we are trying to look at here is just kind of focusing again on 26, especially. And as you would all assume or presume that Salah is predicted to score the most number of points, 18 plus. Again, APL review, generally speaking, is a little conservative on their modeling. They have some safety margin there. If, especially, they don't favor the defenders a lot generally because, of course, the average clean sheet points are not that high. So you'll see a lot of the defenders are not favored as much. But right after Salah is Trent, right? So that's how big he is. And again, we looked at his XGI numbers. He has an attacking return pretty much like every two game, right? Something like that, 0.5 XGI per 90. So he is very high. Mane, we spoke about him briefly. He is pretty high too, and I do believe that he is still pretty nailed. Also, although Luis Diaz is there, but I cannot see Mane all of a sudden being dropped. I think he is absolutely nailed. His minutes might get managed a little bit here and there, but I think he starts both the games. And then Robertson is also there. So it's basically Liverpool, all Liverpool, right? Salah, Trent, Mane, Robertson, VVD, all the guys that we spoke about. And then there are Arsenal players. So exactly kind of the pattern that we spoke about. So then the Arsenal defense, and then Lacazette is there, Gabriel is there, Saka is there, Tierney is there, Matip is also there. Let's forget Matip for a moment. Allison, no one is going to get Allison. Son, of course, we spoke about him. Son and Ken, they are not too far off. Although one of their games are against Man City, but generally speaking, Tottenham recently has done pretty good against Man City in general. So you never know. They could turn up on their day. Ramsdale is there. So from a goalkeeping standpoint, as we were all saying, this is kind of a big opportunity to get potentially two clean sheets, two easy clean sheets. There, well, they can easily concede in both games, but at least from a probability standpoint, it's a very very good probability, right? So there are a few other goalkeepers on this chart also. Guaita, Loris, Pope, we briefly spoke about. Foster is also there. So mostly again favoring the double game weekers because of the probabilistic model, right? If you play more minutes, you expect the players to score more points. Not there are appearance points, plus you also expect them to return a few more attacking returns, right? But that generally speaking is the picture. Of course, Jota, again, this is before the injury. Remember that he was already expected to score significantly lower than the other Liverpool players because of his X minutes, right? Not because he's a bad player or anything. His underlines are very good whenever he plays, but because of his potential lower X minutes. And it sounds like, and there was a lot of talk about it in Twitter today too. When he is fit, I believe Klopp is going to play him more in the Champions League. He is definitely the first choice, number 9 for Klopp now. So if and whenever he can, he is probably going to bench Jota in the easier games in EPL. So very high likelihood of that, especially after the Inter game today. I think that's even clearer that Jota is kind of the first choice whenever he's fit for the number 9 role. But yeah, so pretty. clear from everything that we spoke about in the previous slides. It kind of following the same pattern. But again, go to FPL review site, make your transfers, see if they are worth it over the, if not immediately in this game week, maybe over the next 4 or 5 game weeks, they are maybe worth it, right? And they are generally pretty good analytically. Their model is pretty good, especially from a to B standpoint. Very good tool. But yeah, anything to add here, Zidian Wrangler? Pretty straightforward, right? Anything
Yeah,
that
and
stands
again,
out?
as you mentioned, right, like their model is in a way that, I mean, it might not be accurate for one game week, but in the long term, I mean,
Mhm.
actually, it's pretty good. Actually, you can
Yep.
estimate pretty well, and this is very good tool as well whenever you do the transfer. So yeah,
Okie dokie. All right. So, captaincy. So, I mean, it's so funny that we are even talking about this game, given that Liverpool is doubling against Norwich and Leeds, and Salah is back. But of course, again, there is a little bit of concern with his minutes. I don't think there is any, but a lot of people thinks that he might be benched against Norwich, especially before their UCL second leg potentially, right? So I don't see that happening. But if he is playing, I don't think there is any doubt. Forget about triple captaincy for the time being. For a regular game week, when Salah is fit, I don't think anyone was going to think anyone outside Salah, anyways, right? Trent is potentially an option, but again, if we are talking about triple captaincy, I was talking to ZD earlier today, right? That uh, if you are not captaining Trent over Salah in a regular game week, why would you all of a sudden triple cap Trent over Salah in a double game week, right? So, general knowledge or general sense implied, uh, it's obvious that Salah will be the captain, and he will probably be like have an EO of like 200% plus for sure, maybe in the 230, 240s, right? But anything to add here, specifically the Salah versus Trent topic from a X minutes standpoint or anything else, guys?
I personally think, I mean, Salah would get at least 150 minutes. I mean, or say if he gets 120 minutes, it's still it enough, right?
Yep.
To get at least 2 goals. So uh, and also these games, I mean, Liverpool is expected to score higher goals. So I know Trent has good. Um, uh, like has some advantage with X minutes, and also they might get to clean sheet. But again, these are two best fixtures to target, and Salah is a machine in all. So I'm not actually betting against it. So what do you think, Regla?
even if he comes for 20-30 minutes in the Norwich game, I think he's gonna have become right
Yep.
now. I mean, yeah, because of this, his triple captaincy option might be reduced, but he's going to be captain anyway. I think there is it's
Yeah.
no brainer. I think, but
Now,
again, as I said,
Trent will very likely have a EO of upwards of 100% too, maybe 120, 130%. So
yeah,
some
yeah,
people will captain or triple captain Trent,
true.
no doubt. But Salah will be like more heavily captain, no doubt. Anyone doesn't have Salah is absolutely going to get Salah and potentially captain him, right? So yeah, as ZD said, I absolutely agree. I foresee him playing at least 150 minutes over the next two
Mm.
games, 2 games. I mean, um, Robo has been good, but he has kind of overperformed a little bit, to be honest. If you look at his underlyings versus what he has performed, he has been very good. But one good shout was that during AFCON, especially when Mane was not here, and that was evident even today after Mane was subbed. That's when Robo gets more attacking, right? So when Mane is on the field, Robbo's role is more defensive and not as attacking because Mane probably doesn't drop off as much and so on. So, but yeah, he is definitely not a captaincy shout. And we just had to kind of fill up this slide potentially, right? So it's again, as I said, it's kind of funny that we're even talking about it. Ramsdale, I was saying, right, that I wanted to put Ramsdale on this chart just for the fun, right? So
It's not bad shout actually,
Yeah,
but
I
the
believe.
problem
Yeah,
is we are comparing with Salah. That's the reason.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not bad shout actually.
Any other game week, Ramsdale would have been probably the best shout out of everyone, right?
Yeah,
Two
yeah.
easy games against two pretty poor defenses, pretty poor attacks. So yeah, would have been a very
He can,
decent shout in
he
any
can
other game.
easily give 15 points, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, none of the Arsenal attackers honestly interest me at
Like,
all.
yeah.
Maybe Saka, but yeah, again, I'm not going there. Even on a regular game week, I probably wouldn't have gone there. But yeah, so Salah, right? Absolutely Salah. Anything to add on the triple captaincy, especially, guys? Are you both planning to use the triple captaincy on Salah?
I think I
Yeah,
am.
yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean,
When
against
can we get that right this time? And again, if you're not
Mhm.
doing that, I think you're overthinking. I mean, and I think it's just let's get it done. If
And
you,
again, if it fails, I think that's fine too, right? Because
most of the
everyone is
people
going
will
to
have it.
captain him anyways.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
because
So
this is
yeah,
the best opportunity to gain points.
yeah, yeah.
Because
I mean, the only time maybe you think of bench boost over triple captaincy this week is that if you already have a double game week or a goalkeeper on your bench, plus maybe like a Cancelo or a Bowen, and maybe
Or
like a
even Watkins also maybe.
playing 15th. Well, Watkins, I would not even
But
consider
I
as a
mean,
bench
say
boost.
even if you have like Brighton, right?
Yeah.
People at Brighton in big
Brighton's game is good actually against
they
Burnley.
are playing in
Burnley,
home.
but yeah, again, I mean, those are not necessarily like bench boost material, right? They have one game, and if they miss, that's gone, right? You don't have the
Yeah,
second
agree.
chance. So only reason I would bench boost is I have a double game with keeper
Keeper,
plus
yeah.
Cancelo plus Bowen plus
When
a playing 15th player. That's the only time that I would even think about bench boosting over triple captaining Salah. No reason else that I would do that. I know there is a lot of argument about using the bench boost now versus later to kind of fix your team, but that's why we have our second wild card, right? Ideally, you always want to use your second wild card and use the bench boost right after, so that you don't have to take too many hits for your bench boost. So yeah, so sounds like we are all on the same page. Triple captain Salah, Salah, Salah.
yeah,
Uh,
that's another thing. I mean, just
mhm.
yeah. What I completely agree with you, but this time it's 36, right? The biggest double game week, and you have to wait to do wildcard like until 35, right? By that time, you might need a lot of hit. So yeah, I mean, I see that. I mean, it depends on your team as well, as you mentioned. Like if you have like playing 15 player double game week, Kohli and Cancelo
Mhm.
and Bowen, I think it's a good shout for
Yeah, I
them.
mean, we looked at the schedules like a few weeks back, right? Couple weeks ago. Every team is going to double, right? After 33, like literally every team will
Yeah,
have double every game week, pretty much, or the alternate game weeks at least.
yeah.
So it should not be a big issue as long as you have a decent team bench boost. You should not have to think too much about like taking this hit, that hit. Maybe like a
Mhm.
-4 here and there, but nothing more than that. So lots of opportunities to play the bench boost later. So don't push your team to like take hits and then play a bench boost for sure this week, right? If you have a decent 11, absolutely triple captain Salah. Don't overthink it. All right. Okay. So moving on to the team selections. So we'll try to go through this quickly. So as I also already mentioned previously in the video, I already made my transfers. So last week was not a good week for me. I dropped down from 152k to 183k. I was at 149 before Bruno scored on the 187th minute. And then all of a sudden I had a drop of 34k. Big drop, right? So Ronaldo also lost the bonus points, one bonus point. But anyway, so we move on. So I made the moves early, more because of price. It was a little bit of impulsive, but I knew that I want Kane and Ramsdale anyways. Ronaldo could have dropped. He hasn't dropped yet in price, but he could have. So I didn't want to take that chance, and I did not know whether I want to take the additional hit -8 or not. So I just wanted to at least kind of lock this. Of course, the Jota injury kind of makes my decision a little iffy, that I went for the early transfers. But I'm still not too unhappy because I probably would have tried to get in Ramsdale and Kane no matter what, even with the Jota injury potentially. Um, so yeah, so that being said, so my team reads like Ramsdale in goal, Davis, Trent, Cancelo in the back, Rafinha, Bowen, Salah, triple captain, Jota, Dennis. Edward, and Kane in the front line. In the bench, I have Guaita, Alonso, Gray, and Livramento. Potentially, again, before the Jota injury, my priority would have been Alonso to size. I can take that -4, and again, I checked with FPL review also. It doesn't tell that I would gain immediately this game week, but over the next few game weeks, I will gain because Size is a game in next week. So I probably will have to move out Alonso anyways next week. So that's a potential move from me for me. So even if Jota is injured, I still might make that move. But yeah, other than that, I think pretty well set. If Jota is fit, I have 9 double game weekers. If Jota is not fit, I will still have 9 double game weekers because I'll get size in. If Jota is fit and if I get size in, then I'll probably bench Cancelo. That's the plan right now. Any suggestions, guys?
No, I think your team is in good shape. So, but are you getting rid of Alonso in 27 because Chelsea is on track on from 28?
Chelsea might get a double, but again, I was talking to Wrangler earlier today about these two. Alonso is not as nailed
Nailed
anymore
you. Hmm.
because they are kind of changing the formation. If they go to like a 4-4-2, Alonso is not most likely not playing. Either Malang Sarr or someone is playing the left back role. So yeah, he's not as nailed anymore as he was like few game weeks ago. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even if they double, I doubt that he will play both the games. So
Yep.
I think he's
Okay.
a go.
One
All right.
question,
Yep.
Kante. So, I mean, I think all of us will have the same dilemma. That's why I'm asking. So, like, if in the presser, club doesn't say anything clearly, he might say, like, he might be
Mhm.
resting in the first game for Jota. He might come back to the next game. What's your plan on that? Like, are you gonna keep him in the main team?
Good question. I am not sure yet, so I'll wait for the process, of course, until the last moment. But if he says that he is okay, actually, in one of the interviews today, he said that he could have carried on, but they wanted him to take him out of the field just to make sure that nothing bad happens. But given that he said that he could carry on, gives me hope.
Mm-hmm.
But if he says that he'll be benched for one match or rested for one match, probably will bench him just this week. As I was saying, I want to target one of the Man City midfielders for game week 27. So I'll probably keep him, get in size for Alonso, and I will still have 9 double game weekers. So yeah, that's the plan
No,
right
I
now.
think, I mean, for your case, since you already made the transfer, so definitely, but a lot of people didn't do the transfer. So now Jota could be the like place, to get some money,
Yeah,
right? People didn't think to,
if you have your FTs in hand and if you have good transfers to make, I think Jota is probably a go.
if, and also like if club doesn't say anything clearly. So I think,
Right. And as again, because Liverpool blank again in 27 anyways, right? So if
Mhm.
and a lot of people's free hit plans may change because of this Jota thing, right? So a
Yeah.
lot of people may not free hit anymore because Jota is out. Yeah, if you can get rid of him this week, either for another Liverpool player or whatever else you want to get into, a Son or however you want to fit another player in, he's a go. If you have your FTs in hand, he's a go. All right. So Wrangler, your team.
Yeah, so it's the same thing for me as Kante in the game week 25. So I also had Ronaldo, captain him, was very happy, was in a green arrow until the last minute of the game whenever Bruno scored, and that's when after I think 5 or 6 game weeks I actually uh, I was telling you guys like went behind 50K,
Drop
but
down.
it's still it's in good shape. I don't think I was never in this like rank before during this time of the like season. So pretty happy. All the chips in my hand. So
Mhm.
hopefully um, we'll see some greens in the future. So for this week, right now, my bus team is I have Foster. I have triple actually. What it's funny thing, but yeah, I have Foster who is gonna double, and also Cancelo, Trent, Davis. I brought Davis last week, but anyways, he only got 1 point. I have Bowen, Jota, Rafina. I also brought him last week, and Salah. and I have two Watford and also Ronaldo. Right now in my bench is De Gea, uh, Diaz. Martinelli was the shocking one. He has double, but he's gonna play only one game,
Hmm.
and Livramento. My potential move, I'm thinking if I don't take any hits, just Ronaldo Kane. I'm not planning to do any free hit in 27, so I don't want to I already have Martinelli.
Yep.
I don't want to burden much. If I do, then I will probably bring Ramsdale along with Kane because Ramsdale will be in goalie, so I can potentially afford taking another goalie in 27. And also Ramsdale has been very popular and his EO will be very high. So if anything happens, that's gonna affect my OR as well. So that could be a potential move. I was thinking before the Jota injury. Now things are different. I might still do whatever I plan and then probably remove Jota in 27. Since I'm not free eating, I might get someone either
Hmm.
Man City or anyone. But I think I'm gonna get Kane because that suits for my structure, especially for the future in the long run in 28. Because I don't plan to do a wild card as well in 28. So I want to get at least
Right.
keep Kane so that in case I want Lukaku, in case
Hmm.
then I can do a move. So yeah, one question to you guys. I mean, do you think Ronaldo is gonna be benched or against Leeds? What do you think, guys?
I
What's your
think
take?
he'll start from the bench.
Yeah, otherwise, if I could keep him because again, Man City's fixture is not good. Stats are good for Kane, but if I could keep Ronaldo, then in 27 he's playing against Watford.
Watford, yeah.
Right? It's a good. So
It's
if
a
even
captaincy option actually.
yes, so if he plays even 50 or 60 minutes again Leeds, that would be enough for me to keep him in 26. But I'm just not sure. I just see that he's coming from the bench up for last 10 or 20 minutes, something like that. 20 minutes probably 70.
Same here.
Yeah. So yeah, probably. So Diaz should be in bench, I guess.
Yeah, so if you are not getting Jota out this week, potentially Diaz comes into the first 11, so which is not the worst thing in the world. Um, but yeah,
And another
so,
thing is I know you have triple Watford, but I think there is a chance to get return from Foster, like at least a clean sheet against uh, Crystal Palace in home. So I think the priority transfer is others place, like probably Jota. I think keeping Ronaldo is good for you actually because it will give you a captaincy option, right?
yeah.
In
Keeping what?
27, it could give you a captaincy option in game week 27 if you keep Ronaldo.
Yeah, that is true. Unless I get any Burnley attacker or Burnley asset in 20.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You don't have any money in the bank, right? Zero,
Point
zero,
one,
point
point
one.
one.
Okay.
So if I remove Ronaldo to Kane, that's gonna give me point three. So I'll have point
Yeah.
four. I can probably do Dennis to Weghorst if Weghorst is fit, but again it's gonna be double to double, Dennis to Weghorst. So I don't know. I just don't like both of these right now. I just wanted to get rid of
Yeah,
Raya.
I would have suggested you to do even like from a Watford attacker to like a Broha.
Hmm.
Um, but again, they're doubling,
But
so I
yeah,
kind of
right
want
I'm,
now
to get rid
I'm
with
of
gonna
the.
do this
minus
in
four.
27 anyways. I'm gonna get
Mhm.
Broha, in place one of these guys in 27. That's
Yeah,
unless Broha gets injured.
yeah.
And my plan was to take Weghorst as well if he's fit. So I don't know how I'm gonna. Anyways,
So you are not definitely free hitting in 27. Do you plan to wildcard in 28
no. I
after
think
30?
I mean because in 28 I can get Kane to Lukaku and I can since Jota is not here now, Jota money can be used to get Rudiger
Chelsea
or
defender. Yeah.
yes. So that's good. I'm not very worried about now wild carding 28.
And you are potentially free hitting in 30.
Potentially. I wish I could avoid that too, but potentially.
What are we going to do all these chips, right? Too many
All
chips.
after 30, man.
All right. Okay, let's go to ZD's team.
Yep. So I was on the reverse side. I was sad. until the last minute, but just one goal changed my rank. So I am now at 155k. But before this goal, actually, I shipped him out to get Salah to chase the to chase the
Well, at least one of us
prize.
are happy. That's good, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I got Salah, and he'll be triple captain. Of course, I'm not actually overthinking it.
Mm-hmm.
And so before that, my plan was to bring two more Arsenal assets, Saka and Tierney, in place of Gray and Alonso,
Mm-hmm.
because I am going to play free hit in 27. But as Jota injured, I was thinking of getting BBD as well with a -12, but it seems too much. Probably I will take -8. Uh, Probably I will stick with Saka Tyranny, and also it depends on like if Arsenal get doubles in 28. If it not, then probably I might
Yeah.
get size, and then in that case I will not free it. But so far my plan is playing free hit in 27, not playing free hit in 30. I am planning to play with like probably 7 8 players in game week 30. So in that case, Saka and Tiran actually come in my team.
Okay. Yeah. Good plan. Decent plan. By the way, there is a good likelihood that the Chelsea Arsenal double for game week 28 might be announced tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the day after. So it will definitely happen before the 26th deadline. That's what you know.
Yeah,
Um, so look out for that also, and that may change some people's cheap strategy or transfer plans potentially. There's a likelihood of that.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
If it comes, then I think I will take out Gray, not like Jota. I will keep just Jota in the 11, in a hope that he can play something. I think
Hmm.
rather than Watkins, Dawson, Jota has like potentially get some points if he plays at least one match.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you don't plan to do free hit in 30, then definitely your Villa assets are hold, I
Yeah, you
think.
cannot let
Yeah,
them
yeah.
go yet. Yeah.
But the problem is, I'm now kind of worried. Like if Watkins lose his place in the first 11, that's a worry thing, and
There is
that
a
will
likelihood.
change
Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm just holding him from game week 22 or 21, like for game week 30. But there is a chance, right? Because Ings is sitting and Watkins is not also playing that great. So let's see what
Yeah.
happens. I
I
mean,
think
I
for
might
now you
play.
keep him. Yeah, for now you
Mhm.
keep him and see what the plan,
Yeah,
how the plan changes for Aston Villa. There is a good likelihood that Ings come back into the main 11. Very high likelihood.
yeah. If that
Do you
happens,
are you planning to play Ramsey over Watkins
yeah, I
or
think I
Dawson?
will play Ramsey over Watkins, because I think as Ramsey's midfielder, that's the main reason. And Watkins is not scoring goal. Ramsey is actually he is having good connection with Coutinho with everything. So I just
Mm-hmm.
I'm just taking a chance.
Taking a
Uh,
chance. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I would probably have played either Watkins or Dawson over Ramsey. But yeah, I mean, I think hard to
Dawson is a
argue
good
with your
shout.
point also.
Dawson is a good shout actually.
Newcastle is gonna score, man.
Yeah, but I mean,
ASM,
you again, I
ASM is
mean,
gonna like break this defense for sure.
yeah, but you take the probabilistic chance, right? There is a higher probability of West Ham keeping the clean sheet than Ramsey scoring a goal, just from that standpoint. But yeah, you are right. Ramsey is in good form. Who knows?
I
He
mean,
might score at one or
it
two.
could be choice between Dawson and Ramsey, but I am not actually. I mean, if he scores, but I am not planning to bring Watkins in the 11. But Dawson and Ramsey,
Yeah,
they could be option. Probably Dawson is also better shot. Let's see. I mean,
yeah.
it will
I think it's
depends
okay.
actually Jota.
Yeah, okay. And you are also wildcarding after 30 sometime, right?
I
Not
think
before.
I am pretty fixed on 31 or 32. I mean 31 to 33 between this.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty much it. We can wrap up here. Good discussion, guys. Good talking to you. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. We tried to cover all the double game week 26 topics and kind of looking around kind of past that also for the next few game weeks. Hopefully, it'll be helpful for you guys. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ZD, and thank you, Wrangler, for being here with me
Thank
today.
you.
We'll talk soon again. Have a good rest of the week.
You too.
Good
Thank
Good
luck.
you
luck,
Bye
guys.
bye.
guys. You too.